Hi everyone, welcome to the Talks with the Networks. Today we have Chris. He's the managing director of the Neptune Network. Come and join me for a coffee with him and learn more about Neptune. Hi, I'm Xavi. I'm a freight forwarder based in China. Join me as I share with you my friends in the forwarding industry, stories and experiences of my 10 years of logistics in Europe and China.
How are you, Chris?
I'm good. Thank you very much, Savi. Everything okay for yourself? Everything good?
Everything okay. Thank you for being with the talks and having your time. As you know, we are interviewing 6 networks and we are doing 6 questions within the 6 minutes. Anyways, we have time always to know more. Just to get into that, Chris, tell me where is Neptune located and who is behind Neptune?
Okay, so basically Neptune is a 4-year-old company. It's a brand under RW Solutions. Our company is registered now already for 20 years in Hong Kong. We decided to register in Hong Kong because during that time my business partner Niels was staying there. He was busy with his trading business, whereas I was a freight forwarder during that time. So we set up the company in Hong Kong as a side business first, and we grew the business from there onwards, and then decided to go full-time into that a little bit later, right? But Neptune itself, as a network, it's a fairly young network, and what the network is all about is it's connecting global. It's connecting independent consolidators worldwide to form a global network of consolidators, mainly into sea freight consolidation, to work with each other. So the reason why we came up with this is because we realized that there was no network that was specific in this field. So we then decided to form this around 4 years ago. And we're happy to say that the network is strong and established in the meantime. And the last time we had a conference, we had around 230 consolidators that were present. So we're quite happy with this development, and we wish to obviously continue this into the future, right?
Wow, sounds interesting, Chris. I understand that Neptune is under the umbrellas, as you commented, of RW, with different networks. Just the second question was a little bit on why was, when you started the journey, of course, let's say 4 years ago, and why it was born. I understand that you guys saw a niche on that. Why Neptune? Why Neptune born 4 years ago and maybe didn't do it, let's say, 10 years ago? Why? What make you make this step to set up?
Well, we actually have our flagship network called the CLN, the Combined Logistics Networks. We were developing that over many years. We tried to do different kinds of networks also because it was getting full during that time. And then we realized that if we do something new, then we might as well do something which is different, right? Not the same. And we realized that there was no independent LCL network out there. And one of our close friends, Andrew, suggested for us to put up a network, and he had the initial community that was willing to join on board and establish the network as let me say founding members. And with that, we saw this as an opportunity to then grow this concept and to develop the community around it. So I would say it was an opportunity for us. It was an opportunity for us that was initiated by one of our close friends, And we then took that concept and tried to grow this concept into a larger network, basically, right? So yeah, I wouldn't be able to answer exactly why we set this up 4 years ago, but it was really out of opportunity, I would say, right? And we took this opportunity and we then developed it, right?
Right, Chris. Nice. I see that you guys make things happen. Nice to know that you guys did it recently, and we can enjoy Neptune in the market. But I've seen. Just correct me, Chris. I've seen that nowadays Neptune, it's more or less representing, I would say, like more than 60 countries. You guys have more than 150, 180 members. And
yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
And why are those members joining Neptune? Why? Why?
Okay, Neptune is very specific in the wholesale aspect of LCL. So when you're a wholesale consolidator, you would want to definitely work with other wholesale consolidators worldwide. And that is because you want to maintain a neutrality position towards the market, right? So you as a wholesaler, your customers are freight forwarders, right? And these freight forwarders want to definitely know that you're working with partners that will not approach their customers, right?
I see.
So as a wholesale consolidator, neutrality is very, very important, and this is something that we profile in our agency list to make clear that which consolidator is strictly neutral and which, let me say, LCL forwarder is approaching the shippers and the consignees, right? So so the freight forwarders like to hear that, of course, and they like to make sure that when you're a consolidator, that you're working with other consolidators that are neutrally oriented, and therefore their business is protected, and they also know that their customers will not be approached, right? So
nice.
That's one of the unique aspects of Neptune Cargo Network. That we are a lot of our consolidators see this as very important to maintain a neutral position towards the market, and and that's one of the unique features of Neptune, I would say.
Right, Chris. And let me go to the fourth question, which I will ask you to be more precise. And if I ask you, Chris, if I ask you one word, one noun, one adjective, one sentence that describes the most Neptune, which one would it be?
If I would say one sentence, if I would describe Neptune as one sentence, we are the best NVOCC alliance in the world, because we don't really have much competition in this field. And if you're a consolidator, then I would say that we are the go-to network as a consolidator, right? So at this point, we have the most coverage, we have the most members. So naturally, a lot of the consolidators are coming to us. So yeah, I would say we're the best NVOCC network out there in the world.
Very, very nice. Makes sense, Chris, behind the idea that you are explaining. Let me go to the fifth one, which is a bit more tricky, something that the forwarders, or in your case, of course, the NVOCCs might care about also. It's about payment protection and credit terms, right? While payment protection is the ability to get the money back for those services, and credit terms is how long it's going to happen until get the money. How does Neptune cope and work towards that? With is there any special rule on that? Any guidelines? How do you deal briefly with payment protection and credit terms?
Yes, okay, so in our payment protection, we have two kinds of measures. One is the preventive measure and the other one is the corrective measure. Let me talk about the preventive measures that we have. First of all, before you're able to join the network, we have a screening process where we do some background checking on the members. So we check if they have a fraudulent background. We also check online if they have any history of having unpaid bills with other freight forwarding companies. We have certain channels where we can check. Another preventive measure that we have is that we release our agency list once a month with payment security badges. So you're basically color coded a certain color if you're not paying on time, so that members are immediately aware of any payment delays within the network. This is sort of a, I would say a payment protection for the members.
Sure.
So once a month we release this, and it's very good to have that visibility also. Also, when every member joins us, we ask them to submit their referrals. So we would like to check if they have any active members that they've been working with for a certain period of time, to be able to establish that they're a serious operator also. So I would say on the screening side, that is our preventive measure. But then, you cannot avoid any situation that a member will not pay another member. Sometimes that happens, of course. So we have a payment protection there in place, or let me say a payment insurance in place, wherein we guarantee payments within the network up to a certain amount, which we graduate over the stay of the members. So if you're 1 to 3 years in the network, you have a certain coverage. When you then graduate from 3 years old up to 5 years old, we then have a larger coverage.
I see.
And so on, right? So yeah, like this, we are able to, let me say, secure the payables of our members, but also we graduate our coverage the longer the company stays with Neptune, right?
Sure. What about the credit terms? What is the standard for the market? Would you say it's we go for 30 days, 60 days? Is there any guideline from Neptune towards the members, or it's free? How does it go?
Well, definitely what we would recommend, our network recommends the credit line. We don't impose credit lines towards our members. We recommend a 30-day credit line amongst the members. But of course, the members are there to decide for themselves how much credit they would like to provide to the other members, right? Most of the time, because of the network association, members do provide each other credit. Because there is some trust there that we establish as networks amongst the members, makes it easier for them to work with each other and to get shipments to move as soon as possible before negotiating the credit lines, right? You don't want to be stuck with a shipment and then later on try to figure out what credit line to give each other. A network, I would say, bridges that trust and allows you to work directly and immediately with each other.
Sure, very clear, Chris. Very clear. As I understand, of course, that the payment protection go along of the seniority of the membership. As long as you stay in the network, more payment protection you might have, and of course the freedom for the credit terms. But yeah, that's a small part of the networks. And just going to the last one, Chris. 2020 has been, quite different for all of us. What are the plans? I know that you might launch. You're going to launch in a couple of months the fourth virtual meeting of Neptune. But what are the plans of Neptune for 2021, and how are you guys adapting into this new situation?
Well, to be honest, I really believe that 2021 will look very, very similar to 2020. Unfortunately, right? We're all just waiting for the vaccine to come out, and that will take longer than expected on a global basis, right? You might have some countries that are very progressive, but the rest of the world will still need to catch up this year, right? So I would say we would be back to being able to move around the world freely in 2022 only, and that's when we can start shaking hands. But in the meantime, what we're doing is we're developing our network also more virtually. So our conferences are being held virtually. We also invite our leads to meet each other on a virtual basis, to network with each other, for them to get familiar with who we are and what value we provide to them, and to experience that. I think this year is the year for that, right? What else can I say? Another thing that we're doing digitally is our agency list. So we're making our agency list available in our mobile phones and on the desktop. So we're trying to develop our agency list and sorry, let me repeat that. We're trying to develop our agency list to be available online on the desktop, as well as the mobile phone for members to be able to reach each other faster. And it will also act like a social media, so everyone can update each other there, right? I would say, yeah, I mean, if you're an active businessman in 2021, then you're looking out to doing things more digitally, right?
Sure.
And yeah, I would say that's our development.
Wow.
Of course, we want to grow the network. That's clear, right?
Yes, Chris.
So
Chris,
yeah.
Thank you very much for your time. It has been a pleasure. Very nice knowing more about Neptune. I would say I would understand Neptune as a very niche network within the LCL and FCL consolidators and VOCCs. Of course, based on neutrality, as you say. I see in Neptune a young and strong network that you guys are building, very much into the digital era on the new times, and I really think it's a very nice network to join, and very niche. If you as a forwarder, one of your core business, it's the consolidation, right? Chris, thank you very much for your time. It was really nice to having you on the Talks with Network, and just to allow us to learn more about Neptune. Thank you very much, Chris.
Thank you very much. I think this is a great initiative of yours, and I hope you continue this also. And thank you very much for your time too.